Detroit Den 313, Detroit Lions fans, welcome back. If you see our faces, Steve and Will, you've probably seen us before. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're not going anywhere. It's draft season. It's football season. It's football season from January 1st until December 31st in my book. Can't get enough of it. Even though we're not playing NFL games, doesn't mean NFL rosters aren't being shaped. Doesn't mean there's not no scouting going on. We're talking about another local kid, Junior Colson, linebacker from the national champion Michigan Wolverines. William, we know a lot about this kid. Nothing's going to surprise us. How do you feel about him?
Junior Colson is a dark horse in this draft for most people. I don't hear anybody talking about him. I think that he is an absolute plug and play for the Detroit Lions. There's only one linebacker that I want ahead of Junior Colson, and we've talked about that linebacker a lot. If I was living in a world where you told me that the Dallas Cowboys fleeced us and stole that linebacker, Junior Colson is the next one on my list.
Well, who's that linebacker? You got to put it out there. We've already talked about him.
Edgerrin Cooper. Edgerrin Cooper, love him. Absolutely love Edgerrin Cooper. But if Edgerrin Cooper isn't the guy, Junior Colson is. I'm living in a world right now to where I want one of the two of those guys on my team next to Jack Campbell, right? And the idea of Jack Campbell and Junior Colson, 6'3", 250 pounds, running sideline to sideline in an NFL to where linebackers are 230 pounds now, is fascinating, exciting, and something that I need. Jack Campbell, Junior Colson, Alex Anzalone. Just, if you ever seen what Junior Colson does to guards, fullbacks, wow. The dude's got a great story. I need Junior Colson or Edgerrin Cooper on my team. Junior Colson is a beast to me. Nothing flashy about him. He just blue collar like Jack Campbell. Comes to work, squared away, and does his business. Steve, how do you feel about him?
If you're looking for a guy who's going to light up your stat sheet with sacks, forced fumbles, all that, Junior's not your guy. You're not going to like him if you just look him up and see his stats. If you watch his film, what he does is speed. He is all about speed. He makes his Detroit Lions faster. And I'm not saying I want to draft Junior Colson. I'm not that high on him. I don't know what type of defense are you going to be running where you have Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone, and Junior Colson potentially on the field. You're running a base 4-3.
They're on the field oftentimes together. They were on the field together this year. So you had multiple packages where you had Anzalone, Jack Campbell, and even Malcolm Rodriguez out there at times. There was times where Jerm was out there. There were times that we had
Barnes.
Derek Barnes would come down to rush in. Like there's a lot of times where we have three linebackers out there, and the idea to have Anzalone be the small guy out there on the field, be the little guy,
and the slow guy, which is not disrespect because he's got some speed for a linebacker, but on this team with this roster, then the guys we're talking about, Alex Anzalone becomes the smallest and the slowest, and that's a good problem.
In those 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5 situations where we're not sure if they're going to pass the ball or run the ball. And, we got the package out there to be prepared for either way. And we got all three of those linebackers out there. We played around a little bit with having Jack Campbell be a rush in. I feel like Derek Barnes had a lot more success being that rush in, but my suspicion is in the future, once Jack Campbell figures it out a little more, he's probably going to be a better rush in than we saw this year. And it just excites me. It just excites me. I think Junior Colson is the type of guy. He's hard to block. He's not that new style linebacker like a Fred Warner that they're putting in the game to cover, tight ends and running backs out of the backfield and even slot receivers. He's got old school size with new school game. Like I said, the dude is 250 pounds at 6'3". I just think that he's a problem. You got to account for trying to block this dude and him running around on screens and, getting to the sideline with his speed. And then you're going to try to block him with the receiver. Stop it. I want him. I'm looking at him at pick 92. He's a pick 92 guy for me. At pick 92, if we drafted Junior Colson, I would be running around celebrating.
I think the Detroit Lions we talked about it a little bit last year. We have luxury picks. For me, if I'm using a luxury pick, I don't want it to be Junior Colson. And I'm trying to be nice because I love him as a player. I love him as a Michigan Wolverine. I'm just personally out because I think if I'm using a luxury pick, and I use the word luxury, I want a guy who can touch the ball. I want a receiver, maybe a second tight end, someone who's an offensive threat. I love Junior Colson. I love watching him at Michigan. But when I use that word luxury, I need someone, and I know he can impact the game. I know he can be an impact player. I just need more of an impact. I'm not trying to beat around a bush. I'm just trying to be careful with my words because I really like Junior. I really like his game. But if I'm drafting a third linebacker in the third or fourth round, I think we could probably go get a third or fourth wide receiver who makes more of an impact, if that makes more sense.
To me, it's just all about Alex Anzalone as well. So now I'm bringing in Alex Anzalone's replacement as well. So Alex Anzalone getting a little bit older. He's going to be coming up on his next deal soon. And we're going to have to make a decision whether we keep him around as a senior citizen or whether we move on for him. Or if he retires, we don't know what will happen. But it would be solidifying that linebacker room with him and Jack Campbell for many years to come.
Yeah, that's your linebacking core for probably the next 7-8 years.
Yeah, and then also to go along with that, he's immediate impact on special teams, and to me, his immediate upgrade from the Malcolm Rodriguez's that we're throwing out there. No shade to Malcolm Rodriguez. You do what you do, and you do it at a phenomenal level. You're just a little bit undersized, and I just think that it's a special situation that we could get a guy with tremendous upside at pick 92 that's going to make an impact for this team with a pathway to how he could do it. Immediately come in and do it on special teams, have a spot duty at the linebacker position, grow into who you're going to be in this NFL, and just get it done.
My favorite part of Junior Colson's game is his speed. We were talking about it off camera. There's several times in college football where the opposing team tries to run like a bubble screen, and Junior's over there from the middle linebacking position. He's over there blowing up a defender or a blocker before the play's even made or before the running back or the wide receiver catches the ball. He flies to the football. If you guys are not familiar with Junior Colson, if you're watching us and you're not from the state of Michigan, you don't watch a lot of Michigan Wolverines football, that's fine. Go watch this guy's film. You'll see just how fast he is and what I'm talking about. Like I said, he's not going to blow up sacks. He's not going to blow up forced fumbles, interceptions, passes defended. He's a true old school linebacker with the new school way of playing the game, if that makes sense. Like he's not going to blitz a lot, but he's going to make tackles. And that's something that killed us in the NFC Championship was poor tackling as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was doing it banged up, man. So, and that's another reason why he slid to pick 92 for me, because he had banged up hands. He had casts on both his hands at one point, and then he had foot surgery. So this is a guy that battled to get back and be an every down linebacker. So if you're telling me we're living in a world where he's finally healthy, his game is now going to, like a rocket ship, start to take off. I think the upside for him can be tremendous.
I think he'll be a damn good pro. And like I said, it's a pass for me, but I'm also really hoping he doesn't get drafted in the division. So I'll just say that. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't want to see him be a Bear, a Packer, or a Viking.
Can I toss something at you?
Absolutely.
Would it be a pass for you at pick 92? Obviously, yes. We don't know what we did, but
yes. Fourth round, we don't have a pick. And I think he's a fourth round pick. So we don't have a pick in the fourth round. So is he falling to the fifth? I don't think so. If that's the case, if we somehow get a fourth round pick or he's there in the fifth, absolutely. I'm a little bit more on board. But my philosophy is impact players the first 3 rounds. We have 4 picks within the first 100. We can get 3 starters and a solid role player. So I guess technically he could be that role player, but I don't know. Like, I love his game. It's just, I'm putting my heart aside here and saying no.
It's inches for me. I talk about it all the time. I want to make that field smaller. I got a linebacker that's dang near 6'6", a 6'5" linebacker in Jack Campbell. I got Alex Anzalone, and then I could be putting out another 6'3" linebacker that's 250 pounds, putting their wingspans out there, putting their ability to shed blocks out there, putting their speed out there. That field's getting smaller. Aiden Hutchinson, 6'7", field's getting smaller. Some of the guys that we talked about, it's the reason why I like to draft these taller, bigger guys. Like I said, it makes the field smaller, and if we keep going in this direction, if we get some of those guys that are taller guys, I just feel like taller guys that can run, that field is going to be small. What am I looking for? I am looking for a 20-point defense. I'm looking to give Jared Goff the football and tell him, score 21 points, and we win the football game. That's what I want.
Easily.
You know what I mean? So I don't think we need another weapon to be that team. I think we need a few pieces on defense to be that team, and that's the direction that I'm going. Give me that 20-point defense. Give me that Ray Lewis. Go tell Trent Dilfer, hey, man, just get us 21 points and you're good to go, and we'll get this thing done. Because our offense is what do young people say? OD. It's overdose. It's overpowered. Like, so, hey, listen, if we go address this defense and we get a defense that's tough, look out.
I think the main thing, the main trouble I'm having with wrapping my head around Junior is I'm about 75% locked into who I already want in the first 4 picks.
Yeah.
And I just don't see him cracking that first 4 for me. After that, I really haven't looked into round 5, 6, or 7. I mean, I know at one point I'd like to get a kicker. If that's in round 5, so be it. This team needs a kicker, someone to depend on. So that takes away one of those late round picks for me. My first 4, I'm not going to say who it is. I've talked to you about it, but I'm saving that for when we do our mock draft after the combine. There's one open spot. There's one open spot on my top 4, and I just can't put Junior there. It's just a personal opinion. Look, whoever he gets drafted by is getting a stud. Yeah. Plain and simple. And again, I don't want him to be in the division. That's how damn good he is. But when I look at the Lions team, linebacker, taking a third linebacker, the value for me is just not there. But I'm on the fence.
Yeah, for sure, man. Obviously, I'm living in a world to where we didn't draft Edrin Cooper. So if I didn't get Edrin Cooper, he's my contingency to Edrin Cooper. And by contingency, I don't want to take anything away from him because I feel like he sheds blocks better than Edrin Cooper. I think Edrin Cooper is just going to be faster. He's going to be twitchier. He's going to play downhill a little faster. While Junior Colson still plays downhill, he plays downhill like more of a Jack Campbell. He plays downhill through defenders, right, instead of going around them. So, hey, listen, either way that it goes, I'm living in a world to where I would love to see Edrin Cooper or Junior Colson on my team. Junior Colson would be in round 2. And as I'm putting together and getting prepared for our next mock draft after the Pajama Olympics, I'm thinking about it in an aspect of having my draft board kind of set with the guys that I want and contingencies to the guys that I want.
I'll say this. My last thing is I think Junior Colson has the biggest potential to rise up on a draft board after the combine. I mean, we're talking about a kid who was the captain of the Michigan Wolverines defense, who went on to win a national championship, who was responsible for one of the best defenses in college football over the last 10, 15 years. Like we pretty much shut down one of the most explosive offenses last year in the Washington Huskies. Junior Colson has a hand in that. He's the guy getting people in the right formations. He's the captain of the defense, heart and soul. He's going to answer every single question right. I truly feel that when he goes into these interviews, the most important part of the combine is the part that we don't see when he's being interviewed by other teams' coaches, GMs, position coaches, trainers, all that. He's going to nail it. If he has a good combine, runs a good 40, does some really good drills, I could see him moving up to the 3rd round, and then it becomes more of a, okay, now I'm more on board type thing, just so we're all clear. And that's a lot of people, but when you're looking at a team who won the national championship last year, and it was because of their defense, you're looking at like 2 or 3 guys who's responsible for that defense. Will Johnson, who's not eligible to come out this year, Junior Colson, Mike Sanderstill. It's probably those 3 guys who are the most responsible. So I do think he could move up to a 3rd round pick potentially, and we'll find out sometime next week.
I will let Mason Graham and Mr. Jenkins know how you feel about him. I'll let
those are rotational guys. Those are rotational guys.
I'll let them guys know how you feel. But anyways, hey, on top of that, I want to say this before we get off. I'm not going to get into it because I won't spoil it. But if you guys don't know his story, it's definitely worth checking out too. So when you talk about getting in those draft rooms and guys who have dealt with some adversity, I'll just say this: if you don't know about Junior Colson being an orphan and coming from Haiti, it's definitely a story worth digging into. That guy is tried and true. He's been through it, and I think he's going to be an absolute monster wherever he goes. That's me. That's all I got.
All I hear is grit and chip on my shoulder when I hear his story. So Dan Campbell guy, that goes without saying. But guys, leave a comment down below. Let us know how you feel about Junior Colson. Is he a fit? Is he not a fit? Let us know. Leave a comment. We read them all. Throw out some names. We do some digging. We look around. Hit that like button. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back later with some more content.
Peace.